then I'm thinking like, whoa, I don't know if I want to talk about that. Then we should fucking talk about it, you know?
Awesome. I first met Alex at an event where I spoke. He challenged my idea, then received feedback with curiosity. When I launched the coaching segment of this podcast, he felt like a natural fit. I love his content that cuts through the regurgitated noise with funny, raw takes on the unspoken truths of society today. But as we chatted, his perspective and insights were too good, so we just ran with it. Alex sees life as a game, and his way of leveling up his character is by taking actions aligned with his greater good. In this episode, we explore emotions, internal triggers, and the choice to step into discomfort. And for, at least in Alex's case, for the best story.
Well, the greatest thing that I've realised lately is no one actually does fucking care.
That's so true. I came across your content a little while ago, and then I happened to meet you in person at an event, and I was like, cool, this guy is off stage or off camera the same as he's on camera.
Yeah,
Which
and
I
that took a while though.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
that was also like I went for a massive imposter syndrome for a good while in content, and pretty much when I wasn't growing.
Yeah,
was because obviously I didn't understand content. I just wanted to speak to people about the growth, the self-development sort of thing, but I didn't want to come across in the standard cliche way that everyone sees online, because I think everything's regurgitated. I wanted to put my own twist on things, but as I watched back my content, I realized how I wasn't the person I was portraying in the videos, and I was doing it from a perfectionist standpoint as like trying to help people, but it just came across entirely the wrong way because I was fucking dealing with all these problems I wasn't doing myself, but I was telling people how to be, but I wasn't. And I got to a point in my content where I was like, I felt so suffocated. I was like, I realized, holy shit, I've just been wasting like 4 months. Well, not wasting, because I had to learn to do that, to now realize, okay, this is the path I need to take, and this is the exact positioning I take on my content. And I feel so refreshed, and it's like, it is refreshing because every time I post a video, I don't need to think, how should I say this? How should I look on this? Or like, what angle? It's just, no, I just fucking, there's no worry about that. I've really found a flow with just being myself, and I think it's starting to show through to other people.
I love that. Isn't that a fantastic metaphor? If we look at the way so much of society is living in their careers and their relationships, or like this false sense of self to fit into the corporate box, a societal box, to then just release all of that and just be you. I think that's such a great metaphor for bringing that to the world, right?
Yeah, it's special because I think so many people do grow up boxed in, and again, it's always cliche terms, but if you actually look at the grand scheme of things, everyone's conforms in a way. So when you get older and you start to do more and more things, especially myself, like I was in my job for so long just doing what felt easiest, and then when you get to roam free a bit, you get a bit scared, you think to go back to the old thing. Like when I left my job originally and I was working online at home and I made no money for the first 3 months, I was like, holy fuck, I just need to go, I just go back, just go get a job back, go earn some money. Like you're gonna be broke. But then there's also another part of me that's like, but that's the reason why I left, is because I didn't enjoy it. The reason why I quit is because I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. So why would I go back to something I don't enjoy for security or safety? Because what does security or safety like get me? It's not what I want to. It's not what I want to do. And I feel a lot of people kind of get stuck in that. Like I tried to do coaching for a while, and then I had 2 or 3 clients that wanted those same things. They wanted to break out of it. They wanted to change the way they thought. They wanted to become someone else, change who they are. But then after a week or two, those habits would just delve back into normal and that sort of boxed in nature. And that was something I could never really get over myself, because I was trying to help people to get out of it, but I was also going through that myself. And I think it's a very, very common problem today, is trying to break out of this said box, or being judged by others, or how we're perceived by everyone else. But the greatest thing that I've realized lately, and I'm really starting to sink into, is no one actually does fucking care. Like,
so
I
true.
don't know when this video is going out, but I've just posted one of the most cringiest videos I've ever posted on my channel. And as soon as I posted it, it was a tough watch to watch back, but I actually did not give less of a fuck. Like I could have got 1,000 hate comments, but it genuinely doesn't bother me. Yeah. But I remember when I used to post my first videos, and they were just standard talking videos, but I would cringe so hard at just the most standard things. I would think about what my friends back home would think, or how I would be perceived by others. But again, what we think other people think of us doesn't actually exist. Like what you think of me now, I don't know unless you tell me.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking this person might think of me, I'm better off just not fucking knowing because it's all made up of myself. So why don't I think good things instead of thinking someone's thinking bad of me? Because what benefit does that have you unless you know? You know what I mean? You're creating your own different stress inside your head. And I think that's what keeps everyone so confided in.
Yeah, it's true. It's I think some of the best content is when, like if you thought it was cringy, if other people or uncomfortable or it's this unspoken truth, chances are other people thought that as well. And when you go and create content that speaks to the unspoken voice in someone's head, they're like, oh, fuck, this person gets me.
Yeah.
They understand it. Oh man, that's so good. And like maybe they didn't even know they had that narrative in their head, but then you bring it to the highlight. I think comedians do this really well.
Yeah,
they take
yeah,
something
they do.
that's super mundane, super normal, that everyone has just looked past, and they point to it and laugh. And we're like, yeah, that is
pretty weird.
That's weird. That's funny, and like that's what lands so well, right? Where is it that you've got your style? Is this your unique style? Have you modeled someone? Where do you get inspiration for your content? Because it is
videos?
quite unique.
Well, the skits and stuff, I've literally just seen a couple skits and I've always wanted to do funny videos. But again, that sort of sense of cringe or however people perceive, because that is the most uncomfortable ones, is making a fucking tit of yourself on videos. And that's the most uncomfortable ones. They're just seeing skits people do and I'm like, I can make them better. Or seeing people in the online space in the digital nomad entrepreneurial world. And I'm being like, I don't like seeing this all the time because everything's regurgitated now. And so I think the reason I'm going down the route I am is there's so much that just looks the same. There's so much regurgitated. I just want to try it. I don't know if I can create my own lane. I fucking hope I can. But the styles that I kind of copied from is a lot of mainly storytelling, but the more vulnerability, I think the more relatability. And there's a guy called Mino Lee. He's great for storytelling. I watch a lot of his content. And I kind of take styles from everyone. There was a German guy I was watching for a good while. His name's Joey CZI. He was very much a Bali-based creator, and he was very much on the lifestyle, the living in Bali. But then there's other creators like my friend Reed Seddon. He's very good at the day in the lives and the sort of flow and how he speaks. So I've just studied a lot of like what they do because they are doing very well in their fields. But then it's taking like elements of theirs, what's already working, and then put my own twist with like my comedic effect because I just like to be a bit unhinged on my videos, or if it is a storytelling video, just try and throw in a joke here or there and a bit of humor to try and again tell the story in a way that no one else could tell it, so that it makes it my lane. Because I was telling stories, very generically or not describing moments or experiences for myself and just speaking very service level, face value. But now the more I try and like inject my life experiences and tell the story only a way I could tell it, that's where I've really started to find my own lane of like it's your own niche, just being you.
Yeah, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
A lot of your style is like humor, but speaking to a deeper truth. Are these deeper truths a reflection of who it is that you really are beneath the surface?
Yeah, the deeper truth. Yeah, they're for a good while. Like I struggle. Everything I speak about, I've struggled with. Like every single thing I speak about, I've had a long, hard think and reflect about all the things I used to struggle with. What stopped me, what I was afraid of, what issues I had with this person, or why I didn't deal with this amazingly, and just journaled all these different things. And like, I felt this, I felt that, I felt that. And then dissected, okay, how can I speak this into a video that conveys to people that would understand, feel, relate? And yeah, a lot of these things, I'd like to think I dealt with the majority, but I still struggle with a good 70-80%. Like I think the big stance I'm taking right now is everything I say I'm dealing with or struggling with, I still do, but I'm dealing with it better. But I'm never going to be a finished product because I don't like the idea of being a finished product, because then you'll probably go back into similar patterns of which kept you just stuck in the first place.
Well, when you arrive, then what?
Yeah, exactly. When you arrive, you stop.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea of ever being finished. I don't like the idea of just ever stopping. So I really do think the more you speak about the struggles and you can help other people, I'm never going to overcome the struggle, but I'm always going to deal better with the struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's always
I don't like the finalities of the word. I don't even know if finality is a word, but I don't like the finalities of being like, oh, I've done it. I've finished it. I've completed it. Because what's the fucking fun in that?
Well, as soon as you do that, life will come and kick you in the ass and go, hang on, it'll test you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I didn't quite have it figured out.
Yeah. Just when you thought you had it all
maybe in a
figured.
previous version of you had it figured out. But then, well, as you say, if we're just going to stop, well, then what does that mean? There's no growth. What's not growing is dying. And well, I don't know. I think completion is death.
Yeah.
So we might as well keep growing and keep going ahead.
Yeah.
And so we've got another level.
There's always
another
more.
devil
There's
to
always
overcome.
there's always more you can do, and I think a big stance that I take on things is pretty contrary to most entrepreneurs. Is that every entrepreneur always chases after money and needs more money and wants more money, but money doesn't really bother me. Like, obviously money's great, it's accessibility, it's a tool, it makes you, it gives you this lifestyle, but like I don't see anything past that. Whereas like people who can't sleep at night unless they make 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 a month, they make 50,000, they want to go make 100,000. But like to me, I only ever see it as accessibility or a tool. So once I've, not necessarily completed that, but once I've got money to live the life I want, to care for people I need, to do the things I need to do, it's then I put my focus onto other areas of my life where I can improve. Are my relationships as good as they can be? Have I gone to these places I want to go to? Have I traveled here? Is my body in this shape? Like, is my business, like, is my brand doing? Am I speaking the right way? Like, all these things that really come into my focus outside of the scope of money is a big part of why I consider this whole concept I'm really doubling down on, is that on the new tattoo I got the other day, is life truly is a fucking game. And I played a lot of games as a kid, COD, FIFA, GTA, and I'd spend hours trying to get the best Ultimate Team, or I don't know if you played the games, or tried to get the best apartment in GTA. I'd do heists, I'd go on Warzone, and all these things were all on a quest to become better on the game, to get better unlocks, to get better rewards. But it's the fucking same with real life. The more money you get, the more accessibility you get, the better your brand is, the better your relationships are, the better experiences, the better your quality of life is, the higher level you are, the more unlocks you have in your life. And that's really something that I'm doubling down on, because a lot of times when things go badly or things go good, you can always dumb it down simply to it's just part of the game or whatever else. And it really has helped me to get over trivial or superficial things like, oh, but what if this person does that? Or what if this person says a bad thing about me? It's like, no one gives a fuck. It's all a game. Just keep playing.
Just keep playing the game.
Just keep playing the game.
I love it. I think a lot of people are waiting until they've had enough money or got enough money, accumulate enough resources before they go and take care of those things that you mentioned, whether it's the relationships or the health and the well-being, the vitality and all that kind of thing. Really, money is just an amplifier of who it is that you already are, what it is that you've already got, right?
People think that to get to this level person, let's use the analogy of the game, right? People think to get to level 50 person, they need level 50 money. But I don't know if you've ever seen in the game, but if you look on UFC, someone might have like 75 grappling and 95 stand and bang, but their overall be like 87, 88 because they're so good at one area. But the guys who are also 87, 88 might be like 84 and 83 rated across everything. Like, he's way better on the ground, but he's not as good in the... But the idea is, why would you want... Imagine if we're two UFC fighters right now. We're playing on the game. I keep the analogy to make it make it simple. And you've got 95 standing ground game, standing punch, bang, whatever. But that's all you've got. Let's make it easier. You've got 99 jab, right? You've got 99 jab, but I've got 80 kick, grapple, ground, spinning back fist, elbow, all these different moves, all these different things. Who's going to win a fight? You might have the best jab in the world. You might make all this money. But if you can't compete on the ground, if you can't compete, if I throw an elbow at you, you don't know how to block it, like, you're going to get fucked up. Yeah. So these people who are millionaires with all this money, it's like, yeah, you're rich, but for what? You don't enjoy it. You're only going after one thing in life. There's more to life than just money. Money just complements and, like I say, amplifies whatever the rest of your life says. All it is a tool. There's an amount I have in mind that I want to make, but past that, I'd obviously want to make more, but I don't ever need to make more. The people that signify, like, I need to make this money. Again, a lot of people have different goals, but I just think people put too much intent on making solely, I need to make money, because they think that that's going to help them improve the rest of their life, but it doesn't. No. It really doesn't.
It really doesn't. And that's one of the common themes with everyone that I speak with. I love the analogy that you use. What comes to mind, I sometimes reference this, is it's like Andrew Tate. He's got like, he's
I don't know if that's a good...
Well, he's like level 100 when it comes to mindset. But he'll only ever play in his lane. He won't go and bother like leveling up the different areas of his life, like emotional connection. And he talks about love. I'm like, this guy, he talks about he doesn't feel anything. Well, how can you experience love? He talks about like, oh no, happiness, that's fucking weak. Go and hustle, go and grind, make some more money, buy some more cars, build some more authority. And I'm like, how could just living in that one lane ever be really a great experience of life? And so, we got to up level some of these other lanes in our lives, and money can't buy it.
Yeah.
It's an experience within us.
I'd never want to live multi-dimensional. I'd never want to live one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I think life is multi-dimensional. Like everything that for me, the things that come to mind is business, brand, mindset, physique, finances, relationships. Like all these things I want to improve. I want to keep getting better.
It's a holistic success.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. And like I say, I think the UFC fighter analogy is good just so people can understand it. You want to become a better fighter. You want to be an overall better fighter. You don't want to be known as a guy who can just do one thing, because if that one thing goes wrong, like if you stop making money, what are you? And what's left?
If you're finding value in this story, I'd love to invite you to hit the subscribe button below. You'll be the first to receive content just like this, honest, relevant, and here to support you on your journey. With every like and every follow, together we're succeeding in our mission and reconnecting the world with what matters most. And that is, of course, each other. Thank you so much. So what is it that you're now taking care of in your life? What's alive within you and your life that you're really moving ahead on and going, this is what I'm going after, figuring it out now?
The big thing is this period of my life where you don't know if you're doing the right thing, you don't know if you're going down the right path, you don't know if you take a big risk or a big decision that it's right or wrong. But I think every decision you make leads you to exactly where you're meant to be. And I think there's a lesson in everything. So like if I do something and it doesn't work out for me, it still benefited me because I've learned from it. And I really am leaning into the idea that I don't mind how quick I do it as long as I just keep going forward with it. There's a great analogy that really stuck with me in Psycho-Cybernetics. Have you by Maxwell Maltz? And
I've started it.
And
big book.
And it's a heat-seeking missile. It's like when the heat-seeking missile locks onto a target, if it goes off course, it course corrects to come back on, but it'll never go in a straight line. But if it goes off, it could go 3 miles off, but then with the heat seeking, it'll always come back on, and just it might waver and waver because it's, heat signals. But if it goes cold, it'll come back. If it goes cold, it'll come back. And that's the idea that every time you make a decision and it goes wrong, you know it's wrong, so you come back because you are always in pursuit of the goal. You're always in pursuit of what you want to do. So you just treat your goals as a heat seeking missile. So if you take a decision that puts you further away, it doesn't actually bring you closer to it, because it just brings you back closer towards the target.
Yeah, I love it. Really great analogy. What is it that do you have something that brings you back to course correcting and brings you back and going, this is my target. This is how it is that I choose to navigate my life, whether it's principles, values that you come back to?
I always ask myself, whenever there's a hard decision, a risky thing, what would make the better story?
It's all about the story.
I think that's just a really good internal compass that I've built, is I might not want to do something. It might be scary, but if it makes a better story, because life's all about the fucking moments, the experiences, not the superficial things. So what am I going to remember when I'm on my deathbed? It's going to be the things I did, the risks I took, the life I lived. I'm not going to remember the fucking watch I have on my wrist. I'm not going to remember the car that gets fucking pawned off. So if it makes a good story, then that's it. I don't want to waste any potential. I don't want to have any regrets when I die. I'm not afraid of death, but I don't want to have any regrets when I die. So if I go by the internal compass of what makes the best story, then I'll live true.
Is there a downside to that?
More reckless, more impulsive. Depends. Again, it's all perception though. Like people might see that as a downside. There might be.
Well, for you specifically, what in which ways do you find that would cost you?
Well, I might lose out on money because I'm not taking security. I might lose out on people because I want to go a certain way and I have to leave people behind. I might go lonely for a while. But I always think that everything in the grand scheme of things is always for the greater good of myself.
Yeah.
There might be, temporary things that I might have to deal with, issues, leaving people. I was with my partner for a good 10 months that I didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to, go. But I wanted to do what I'm doing now. So it was very hard to get over that. But I know for the greater good of what I wanted, that's what I needed to do. Yeah. So whatever happens as, a result of that, I have to deal with. And the thing that we mentioned before about the emotions is like, you either bottle it up and then later on in life it does mess you up, or you can deal with it head on, deal with all your shit, and then course correct to go back on. So I mean, yeah, there probably is some negatives to it, but I don't focus on them. And if you don't focus on the scope of the negative, then
Yeah.
you don't really.
Well, it sounds like the consequences, or if we're going to call them negative consequences, I think you've got either intentional and unintentional consequences. And by the sounds of it, if we're calling these negative or downside consequences, they're still, you're aware of them. They're intentional. They're fine. What I really love about what you've said is that you're prioritizing yourself and prioritizing what's valuable to you, your values. It's like the way that you want to live your life. I imagine that you've got a pretty high value of adventure and growth.
Yeah, it's all a story.
Yeah.
Again, the reason why I say the life is the game, it's, I think people are going to get sick to death of me saying it, but I'll hammer it down people's throats, is if you're on a game, you're on all these different missions, side quests, you're exploring different worlds. Like, it can all be translated to life, and what makes a good game that you can spend, I mean, I used to play games for 14, 15 hours a day, non-stop, wouldn't even do anything else. Have some popcorn and some cereal and go back to playing the game again. It's all because it's fun, it's enjoyable, you're doing all these different things, all these different, you're always going forward, you're always exploring new things, and that's why I want to live my life.
Have you always been this way? So what you just described is you're really living life now on your terms, in the way that you want to build your life in accordance to what your story is, the story that you're creating, who it is that you're becoming, taking care of your needs, your values, and living that way. The consequences that you're going to have to leave some people behind, say no to some things, miss out on some things. It's all intentional because it's in the pursuit of what you want. Has it always been that way? Or if you look back into your previous career, life, or whatever, how has that shifted now? What did it used to be?
It was very much, it was never like this. This is only a very recent breakthrough. I'd only say this year. Like, even, no, I think the first inkling of it is I finished university and I didn't want to go into the real world. I didn't want to become an adult as that the thing. I didn't want to get responsibilities. I didn't want to get a house, kids, wife, go down that route or whatever else. And I knew if I got into a little career or whatever, then I'd just find myself falling into that. One of my friends actually asked me to go to Australia, and I was just like, fuck it, yeah, why not? And within 2 to 3 weeks, I realized that I actually I should probably just go alone. And I went to a couple islands for a while. And from that period where I was on my own again in some random country across like 25 hours away from the world is where I really started to be, holy shit, I don't actually need the people I thought I did. Because for the whole of my like growing up, like my dad passed away when I was young, and I had a bad relationship with my mum for like 3 or 4 years. All my fault. I was just a bit of a little shit. And I was always around the wrong people. They all cared about who was the hardest, who could fight, who smoked the most drugs, like even friends would just like fight each other because they think they could beat each other. And I was always very much trying to confide and like win other people's approvals and opinions and look cool and how I'm perceived. And if I did anything that made me look soft or, it would make me angry and I'd be aggressive and argumentative. And that was pretty much me for the majority of my childhood. I think throughout college is when I started to open my eyes a little bit when I left those people. And then throughout university, I started to, mellow out a lot more, but just still, because of that period, be very much stuck in my own ways of thinking of like, I need to look cool. I need to approve to everyone else. I need to make sure I don't look silly, or I need to make sure I don't say something that someone will hold against me, or just very much thinking through the eyes of other people instead of through myself. And it kind of hit me a lot when I was in Australia, because I didn't get angry. I didn't argue with anyone for like 9 months. And one day I was like, holy fuck. Like, I'm an argumentative person. I'm an angry person, but I'm not. I've realized that I wasn't, but for so long when I was living for everyone else, I was always trying to constantly prove myself. So it made me angry, it made me aggressive, it made me argumentative, because I was always trying to prove to someone else that I am a certain way, or I am right, or I'm not wrong. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
And it's so liberating. It's so liberating. Like anyone, like people could watch this, people can do whatever, and they can think anything, they can say whatever, and it literally doesn't bother me. Like, I can read it, I can acknowledge it, I might not like it, but I don't care at the same time, Like, I'm not disregarding the fact if you could to shout all this abuse at me, I would remain unfazed. Obviously, it might bother me, but I know the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. None of it matters.
It's incredible how when you suppress those parts of yourself and who it is that you truly are, in hopes that you're going to get the validation from others or impress someone or to fit in or whatever it is, how it manifests out in all these different ways. And in your case here, you're talking about the anger and the frustration and the aggressiveness. And once you start or once you stop doing that,
Mm.
how so much of that goes away. I think this is a really great like section on demonstrating how emotions, there's no such thing as bad emotions. They're
There's
all
not.
that there are a compass to show us what is
Emotions
who it is that we are.
Emotions are all triggers.
Yeah.
I was reading it this morning. I'm reading the book at the moment. I fucking love it. It's The Courage to Be Disliked. I'm sure people have seen it, but it's the stance it takes as a philosopher versus a youth. So it's a wise person versus someone who's like new to the world. And he's saying that like anger is fabricated. Like you might feel anger, but how you choose to deal with that emotion and portray it is all your own decision.
Yeah.
So like if someone spills a coffee on you, it's like you can either choose to stand up and berate them and shout at them and go mad, or you can just be like, okay, deal with it, and then they probably help you, they do whatever else. But every emotion is a trigger. For example, if I'm annoyed, I'll go for a walk. If I'm angry, you have certain things that when I'm sad, you might eat. That's some people's emotional triggers.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you treat every emotion and deal with it as soon as it comes on, just, oh, I'm angry, fuck's sake, fuck this, fuck that, then you're not controlling you. You're in control of something that's not you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like there's you, and then you get fed all these emotions, and how you deal with them is different to who you are.
Yeah.
Because in a certain period, you might be like going through a breakup, so you're going to be feeling sad a lot more. But then how you deal with that is then how you come out of the breakup as you. How you change from that is you. It's not the emotion. You're not a sad person. You're just letting the sadness affect you. But how you deal with emotions is this is one thing I'm really trying to work on, is how I use certain triggers. So at the moment, I do still feel myself get very hot-headed, or like, oh fuck, like such stupid things. And I try to remember that, and I'm like, okay, breathe. It's a trigger now. If I get angry, breathe. What am I getting angry for? I'm getting wound up at dropping some rice on the floor. Breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. Why? What was that? And do you know what I mean? But some people will do that. Like, oh, I fucking hate my life. I'm always dropping shit. I'm always clumsy. And then they let that consume them, and it goes throughout the day. They argue with everyone else. They argue with the wife. They argue with their friends. Why is everything so shit?
Yeah. I think there's a big difference between emotional expression in a healthy way and then being like emotionally immature, just letting your emotions dump out onto everyone. You know, and I hear this a lot, or see this a lot in the world. People are like, it's almost this righteousness that they go through the world and go, oh, but such and such said I got to express my emotions, so I've got every right to berate everyone and dump my anger, my frustration, or my guilt, or whatever onto everyone. I'm like, that's not what they said. That's called being a child, because you don't have any emotional filters. And so we still need to express our emotions, but in a healthy, mature way that is like sensible, in a time and a place with the person that can hold that space, so then you can process the emotion.
One of my favourite comedians, Ricky Gervais, nails that perfectly. And he's like, whenever he tells jokes and people think, oh, that's outlandish, you can't say that, you're going to get cancelled. It's like, fucking grow up. Like, he's literally a comedian. It's a joke. It's got no ill intent. So how you choose to perceive it is down to yourself. That says something more on you if you get offended by that than he does by saying it. He's saying it because it's outlandish. It's his comedic effect to it. You getting offended by it means you're soft. Why would you let what some random little chubby comedian says bother you and go throughout your day and write a Facebook post about it?
Yeah, no, it's so good. So going through that transition, just jumping back to where it is that you were, how did you go through and navigate that transition? Was it a sudden thing between going from that old version of you moved to Australia, and then suddenly you realize that you're much more calm, this is who it is that you are, you're going after taking care of yourself, your needs, your interests, creating this life? Because it seems like it was a pretty quick jump.
It was very quick, and I think it wasn't instantaneous. The decision was, but the shift wasn't.
I love that. The decisions happen in a moment,
the
right?
decision was instantaneous. One of the things I always want to live impulsively. Again, that's one of the negative things people might see as a consequence of this story-based lifestyle. But the decision was instantaneous. When I got the opportunity to go work abroad in Mexico, I didn't want to leave my partner. I didn't want to leave my family. I didn't want to leave my friends. But I knew that was for the greater good. So I had a very, very, very tough time in Mexico dealing with it. I was breaking down. I had a tattoo here on my arm, and I normally hide it with my watch, not to hide it, but just because it's not something I want to show off. But this is the 14th of October 2024, and on this day I think I broke down like 18, 19 times because I was just a fucking mess. Because I was in the period of changing from that person to this person, trying to deal with it, knowing that the decision I made is for the greater good. It will benefit me. I will be in a better position. Got a video on my
what's the greater good for you? When you say that, what does the greater good mean for you?
best story. I think
The best story. Because greater good, like, are you talking greater good of the world, for society, greater good for you, greater good for your story,
no,
your
it's good.
character?
I think it's for it's for myself. Yeah, it's the greater good for myself. I know that this will benefit me. Yeah, there's other things that you can take in consideration, but if you want something truly, you have to be selfish around it. You have to think for yourself. You have to think, what do I want? What will do? What is best for me? Because I'm living for me.
I don't think that's selfish. I think a lot of people might hear that or perceive that as selfish, but if you don't take care of yourself first,
It feels
no one else is going to take care of you. No one's coming to save you.
Yeah, it feels like friction saying that. That's why I'm saying I'm trying to reflect on it. It feels like friction by me going down that route and saying it's selfish, but fuck it, no, yeah, that is selfish. But it's your life.
Yeah,
like I
don't perceive it as selfish. Like say you go and live your life, and you become the person that you're becoming. That's truly uniquely you. I think that's a big process. It's probably a lifelong process to remove the masks and come back to who it is that we are. But I think it's one of the most courageous things that we can do, but also one of the most noble journeys that we can go on. Because if we're not turning up as our authentic self, taking care of ourselves, being who it is that we truly are, one, we're a fake demonstration to others, which I don't think is serving in any way, shape, or form. But then also we're just people pleasing, caretaking others. So then that's rescuing others from then like taking responsibility for themselves. So you're depriving them of their growth. And as a result, you're never going to get what it is that you want. So then you build up, like, a resentment in our own lives.
It's an interesting topic you say there, because I think it's a big problem in the UK. Is because of that, everyone's pertaining to this idea that people think everyone must, and then they all end up resenting their own situations, jobs, lives, and it's a very self-deprecating situation. Like everyone takes the piss out of their own situations. Everyone laughs at them, but no one does anything about it because they're all pertaining to this idea that they think they should be, but not who they want to be or who they are. And again, I'm trying not to. I don't want to say this in a position that I know everything, because I really don't want to come across that way. Because I was in that exact same boat where I was pertaining to be someone else.
You'll be able to see the contrast, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the contrast of it is, I was trying to be someone else, or I was going down a path that I thought was right, or do things I think are expected of me, or what my parents would want me to do, like with university. But then when you realize, like, I don't actually want to do any of this shit, what do I want to do? It's only when I started to become a lot more liberated, because even if I make a mistake, which I don't think you can make, it's you just course correct. You go down the exact thing where you want to be. But if you are always thinking of what others think of you, or trying to become someone, or in the eyes of what your friends, family, or partner would think of you, then you're going to get to like 34 and be like, holy fucking shit. Like, what have I done with my life all this time? You're going to get like a Mike Tyson tattoo in your face or something. Like, you're going to go crazy, AWOL, off the rails. Yeah. If you don't go and do it now. And that's why I think, the biggest thing as well that I'm trying to do is the figuring out the 20s. It's because that period I'm on about now, you can really like cast a wider net and be like, that is your 20s. It's figuring out who the fuck you actually are, what life you want to live, what your lifestyle is, who you want to be. Because that's the hardest part, is we're all told to go down certain paths. So it's hard to find your own one. And that is your 20s, because only once you go 18, become an adult, you then have 2 years of like, okay, yeah, this is all right. I can go out, I can drink, and I've got more accessibility. And then when you hit your 20s, it's like, shit, what do I want to do in my life? Who do I want to be? Where am I? What's going on? Where am I going to be in 10 years? And then that's when the stress comes in, and the panic over like, holy fuck, what am I actually going to do in my life? And if it doesn't come in then, when you're 34, you're like, holy fuck, what have I wasted all my life for? So that's why I think the 20s is such a crucial period, this 10-year span of like, this is where you shape your life. The first 18 years, you've got obviously a lot of access from your parents. It's kind of, you don't have to think as much. But in your 20s is where you become the person you want to become. Yeah. This is the path.
I think it's really important. Like, you know, when you mention, just going back to that whole perspective of selfishness, is if you're not selfish, and that's the path that we end up going down, and the impact that we have on society as a result, either feeling resentment, like having a midlife crisis, breaking up with partners, being a bad demonstration for the next generation of kids. Like, if we're going to call it selfishness, I think selfishness is probably going to be one of the most important things that we can do, so we can reverse all of that. But selfishness is not self-centeredness.
No,
there's a big difference there.
Yeah, and I think the selfishness gets a bad reputation. You
Yeah.
like,
Well, because I saw the
selfish.
resistance in you even saying it, and I was like, this doesn't sound for me. Like, I've got a great relationship with me standing up for me. So when I see someone else do it, I'm like, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
awesome, do that.
and that's also a big part of what I'm saying with this journey is like there is still a lot that I'm getting friction with when I think a certain way. I know, again, I say this term, the greater good. I know that way of thinking is for the greater good, but I still have part of me where it's like, no, is that wrong? Like, is that bad of me? Should I change? But
Can you give an example on that? I'd love to see how that comes up for you in your life.
What do you mean? Sorry, say again.
Well, like, do you have an example that comes to mind where it's like, should I be that way, or should I do that, or is that bad or negative, and you feel that resistance come up, and where maybe you're not living in alignment with your greater good, your story, who it is, your character, and who it is that you're becoming.
Well, the main thing, I don't think there's like a standout time, but one thing that comes to mind is when I was in Mexico. Like, obviously I have all my friends, I have everyone around me, you know, I can go do things on the weekends. But when I went to Mexico, there was no one there who spoke English. Like, there was two guys that I'm so grateful for. Well, three guys that I'm so grateful for meeting, because without them, like, I genuinely wouldn't have had anyone there, nor even be able to speak the language, and had no sort of.
Whereabouts in Mexico were you?
It was in Playa del Carmen.
Oh yeah.
So it's like right on the coast, and that I know that for the greater good is like this lonely chapter, this lone period is going to make me such a better fucking person. But like, I wanted to change. I wanted to go somewhere else. I wanted to go back home. I was literally just thinking, oh my God, I want my girlfriend back. I want to go back home. I want to be with my friends. But I know, I was like, no, just fucking stick it out. This is going to be for the greater good. That's why this, like, for a good month, I was there for a month before this. For a solid month, I was a mess. I was breaking down all the time. I'd been like, I hate this. I can't live this way. I can't deal with this. I need to go back home. Do you think I could still salvage my relationship? Like, how can I, I was called, like, I was a fucking mess. But on that day when I had all these like things, I just sat myself down. I was like, okay, this is for the greater good. Fucking stick it out. It will benefit you. You know it will. That's why you made the decision. All the shit you're feeling now, you're meant to feel it. It's going to make you better. And I believe that period of my life is the lowest. That's the reason I got to tell you, is the lowest I'll ever be, ever, categorically. There will never be a point where I'm mentally lower than that period. And that's where I had the big shift. Well, a big shift of being like, do it for the greater good because it will benefit you. And then that as proof to where I am now is like, okay, if it's tough, if it's uncomfortable, if it's difficult, good. It's for the greater good. Go after it. And I think it's just a good internal compass. You can simplify it by saying what makes the best story, but I can't even, conceptualize the greater good. I just have it in my mind that it is for the greater good, I wish I had a really philosophical way of describing it, but I'd just be like, that's for the greater good.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone's got their own version of what greater good means.
It's like your gut instincts, yeah.
Yeah. And so some people could call it a God, a spiritual being, internal wisdom, your higher self, your inner child, whatever it is. Like, my version of that is, I've spoken about this on a couple of podcasts now, is that I got me and I got myself. And myself is like the little boy within me, like the little Daniel that's 5 years old, 6 years old. And my job is to protect and look after him and be the role model demonstration for him, the very best that I can. That's my only job.
I fucking love that.
And
that's so good.
So like, that's my compass.
Yeah.
So my greater good is him.
What would he want?
What would he want? What's he like? I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, same. That's the sort of power of it, is like, if you don't think about the decision that you want to make in that moment, but you think about it for the younger Daniel, for the greater good, you know that it's the best thing to do. Doesn't matter if it's scary, doesn't matter if it's hard, doesn't matter if you're going to lose people, does not matter what is best for the greater good. What would little Daniel want? Yeah. That's like the internal.
When he's taken care of, then I'm taken care of, and then I can go on my merry way, or my courageous way, or take care of what needs to be taken care of. And it's not coming from a place of fuck everyone else. It's take care of him, and if he's taken care of, then I'm more enabled to take care of everyone else.
Yeah,
or who's important in my life. I really like your story going back, how you chose growth and courage and uncertainty into the next level of your life rather than returning back to comfort. And that deep loneliness, I want to talk to that just to a moment, because it would be when we're feeling lonely and disconnected, like it's so easy to go back to what's familiar, whether it's a relationship that doesn't serve you. For a lot of people, it's like an abusive relationship, or going back to the people that held you down, or the groups of people that you mentioned that you felt some sort of sense of fitting in, but they weren't your people. They'll bring out all like these negative aspects of you, or these emotions that you didn't want to feel. And so when we're in that moment of discomfort and growth and feeling alone, it's going back to go, well, how is it that I can take care of my needs now? One of the needs is connection, is a sense of belonging. Oh, fuck, that's really tough. And I speak to this personally for myself. That's my biggest thing that I need to overcome, was feeling disconnected and deeply alone. I was single for 7-8 years, and it took a long time to finally then decide. And see, I think when you talk about that decision, it happens in a moment, but it took too many years. I want to say too many years. It took as many years as it needed to, just to say, all right, I'm going to take responsibility for this. And it was really hard, really uncomfortable, but it changed my life.
I have a question for it.
Yeah.
You know that period where you was lonely? Did you really fixate on how lonely you were and the pressure to find someone else? Because I feel there was a period where I didn't have my last partner was the first partner I had like ever. So I didn't have a girlfriend for 23 years growing up, and a good amount of time I was looking for someone for the sense of having someone, because I was so lonely, because I was lonely, because I didn't like that feeling. I tried to find other ways to have other people to fix me. You know what I mean? So like, people think if you're lonely, oh well, don't be alone, fixes you. You won't get that sense of loneliness, but you should be comfortable being alone. Lonely obviously is an extreme term, like for example, 4 months away, but the reason why I mention it is, for a good amount of time, I felt bad within myself, lonely, despair, and I thought if I found someone else, that would fix me. But then you use that person as an antidote, you're not actually fixing yourself. I use a concept all the time. It's like, if you put a plaster on a broken glass, it's not going to fix it. You're not actually fixing the real problem, that you don't feel like comfortable with yourself. I could be alone now for a good amount of time. In Mexico, I couldn't. Well, I mean, I did, but I physically could not. I was breaking down all the time. I could not deal with that way of life. But now, if I was alone for say 3 months, I don't think I would be bothered. I think I'd be comfortable with it. I like my own space now. But for a good amount before Mexico, I could never be alone. I could never be on my own space. Even when I went solo traveling, it's like, I need to be with someone. I need to find someone. I need to be around people. But now I'm very comfortable being alone, being on my own thing. But for a good amount of time, I try to always find other people to fix that sense of loneliness. And I think that's what people get confused with.
Yeah, it's really important. The whole saying, like a pet peeve I've got, is when people go, oh, my other half, my better half. I'm like, it's such a toxic comment, because no one can complete you. Like, no one will fix you.
The better half, yeah.
So,
often.
This is my better half,
like
or this is my other half. So what that means that
you're 50%.
Yeah, you got 50%. You got one sort of half and another half, and together you're gonna make a whole. No, we got to be two complete, whole, able beings that then come together in unison to then create a really great future together. So we're living our own lives. Like the relationship that I got with Louisa now is like, it's really, really amazing, because she's got her life and I got my life, and they work really well together. And we don't even really compromise, because our lives are so aligned in values in the way that we want to be. Sure, compromise is a great idea. I don't think it's really necessary if you are living the life that you want to be.
I don't think.
We very rarely compromise, because at the heart of it, we share the same values. We want the same things. And so on the surface, sure, there's some actions that she does that I'd prefer to do differently or whatever. And so you could look at that compromise, but it's like, no, I'm just living. I just know that that's important to her, so I'm happy to go and do that. And there's times that things are important to me, and she'll come along and do my thing. But going back to your question, is no one can make you feel a certain way. So you feel lonely, like I can't make you feel a different way than what you already feel. It's not my responsibility.
You're not going to fix that sense of loneliness.
No, and
nothing external will fix that loneliness.
I think if you want really great relationships, and this is at the core heart of the coaching that I do, and this whole podcast, Reconnect You, my flagship programs, Reconnect, it's all coming back. And people will call me a relationship coach, and I'm like, sure, your relationships are going to be better as a result of the work we do, but I'm not going to help you fix your relationship. I'm going to help you probably build the relationship within yourself first. Come back to who it is that you are. The way that you relate to yourself is going to be then the way it's going to be reflecting in the way that you relate to everything else. We have a relationship with everything: money, time, other people, the noisy basketball court across the road. I don't have a great relationship with that, whether it's coming through on the microphone or the construction next door. Everything. We're in a relationship. But it's like what you're talking about with the triggers. All the triggers are a reflection of the relationship with ourselves. So we're going to come back, and no one can fix that. No one's coming to save that. No one can heal that. We have to do that work ourselves. And so that story that you shared, being in Mexico, sitting with yourself, and podcast I did yesterday, he spoke about, the meditation gets a bad rap, but being able to sit with that silence, sit with yourself, sit with the internal parts of being, it really starts putting a mirror on who it is that we are, builds our self-awareness, and starts highlighting, okay, well, this is what I need to work on.
I promise you right now, if you take yourself to a foreign country where no one speaks the language for 3 months, you'll figure out who the fuck you are.
This was my journey, man.
You'll figure out quick what you are, what you need to work on. Because so much shit came to me, I was like, it kind of like I took a step back. It's like I put on different lenses. I was like, holy shit, I'm broken. Like there's so many things that are like, that I need to work on. There's so many different things that I didn't realize until I took myself out of that environment, got into the position where I'm so lonely, like crying.
But you know what also can happen? This happened to me in my 20s, is I thought that I moved away out of my hometown when I was 16, and then I moved. I didn't really have great friendships anywhere. Felt kind of alone, didn't know that I felt alone or I lacked belonging. So then I went and traveled. I traveled a lot in my 20s, all over the place. This is before digital nomading was a thing. It was called backpacking.
the modern backpacking. Backpacking with a laptop.
But it wasn't until I was 31, I came here in Bali, I finally created my dream life. I had my business, had everything all figured out on paper, and I still felt the same problems. And so, we talk about the problems are highlighted, but I chose to ignore them for 15 years. And it wasn't until I came here and found myself just broken down in tears in Bali, because I was like, well, fuck, I've done everything right and nothing has worked.
Why is it not working? Yeah.
And, so for me, it was kind of I don't know whether it was a rock bottom. If I say rock bottom, or Murphy will come out and show me a deeper rock bottom. But it was enough to finally wake me up and go, I created everything and it wasn't the answer.
But that's also a key part as well, is people might look at this and be like, well, hold on, you're living in Bali, you got a business, whatever else. How are you not happy? Or hold on, you're working remotely, you're living abroad, you're in Mexico, you're in a beach town. How are you not happy? But people confuse that it doesn't, anyone can be happy in any situation. Yeah. But you don't, just because we live in better places with better things or better access, doesn't make you, that person within you, a happier person. If you've still got all those issues you've not dealt with.
Yeah. And there's such a key point within that, something that's been coming up for me a lot recently is, actually I did some, Give It All, our speaking event here, I did some quizzes for our audience to find out, what our audience most struggles with, biggest challenge. So we're here in Bali. People are living the dream. They've got businesses, doing pretty well. They look like they've got all their shit figured out on the outside. But the constant theme that kept coming back was self-neglect. So we're talking about how turning up is a false version of who it is that we are, not taking care of our needs, maybe our boundaries, feeling our emotions. And so that was really high. The self-abandonment was on one quiz. The other quiz was the inability to feel success right here, right now, where it is that we are. It was massive. It was the entire audience. I only found out this on the back end. I thought it was going to be a fun quiz that was going to create some great conversation and networking. No one talked about it. And then when I looked at the results, I realized why. Yeah. Because that's hugely vulnerable. But what I realized is we're all the same. And we're not in some shit old part of the world. We're living a great life, but we're still all the same with these same challenges. And what I realized is, being a success. So the people that I work with, they're making great money and they've got the cars and the watches and high-rise apartments, making a couple of €100,000, a year and their corporate job, and they look like they're a success. Or here in Bali, living a digital nomad lifestyle, creating money online, still making between 10, 20, 30 grand a month, they're a success. But invariably, they all say, but I don't feel successful yet. And I realized that being a success requires totally different attributes, skills, competencies, and an internal operating system than feeling a success. I was like, holy shit, no one's taught us how to feel successful.
Mhm.
The whole world has conditioned us to be successful, but where have we ever
It's-
learned how to feel successful?
That's what I'm saying. It's really hard to try and put into words like how important it is, but those external chases, like the job, the money, the where you live, it doesn't fix you inside. It just puts like, again, this analogy doesn't necessarily work this time, but you're putting something else on top of it, but you're not fixing the root problem. Because if you think all these same things, again, nothing external will ever think the problems, the challenges, or the fears you have. Only you will fix them by going through it, and that sounds quite wishy-washy. Like only you can fix them, but you need to.
It's a cliche for a reason.
It's cliche for a reason. Exactly. That's why I don't really like cliches, because you hear it's like everyone says it, but it's like how you perceive that. You can have it as a cliche, like, oh, I hear it all the time. It's like, well, yeah, well, fucking do it. Because that is genuinely like the biggest thing is dealing with it yourself, dealing with the problems yourself, so that when you have all these things, you get to enjoy them. Because like you say, these people who are quote unquote successful by the eye, they don't feel successful. But why is that? It's because they're not dealt with it internally. You can make £1 million, but you might still feel like a fucking failure. Why is that?
Well, because life is an experience, and all experience. So feeling successful is an experience. Feeling anything is an experience. All experience is emotion. It's feeling. Most people to become successful have suppressed their emotions, because it takes a lot to be successful. But usually it requires a self-abandonment. It doesn't have to, but this is what has been imposed on us, conditioned, or thought to be the way.
Why do you think that is?
Suppressed it. Well, there's a lot of lines of thought, but there's one that comes to mind. The immediate one that comes to mind is humanity has come from pretty hard times. If you look through all of humanity, we've come from wars. Like society has been battling their neighbors forever. So what does that mean? For men, to be a man means to go to war. That's some pretty scary shit. To go and sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. So like if you look at our work culture, to go and build a great career, go and sacrifice your life to earn some money. Like that's how we're being conditioned. Go to war, sacrifice yourself to protect the tribe, to serve the women and the children. So like there's a massive emotional like suppression, self-neglect, self-abandonment, sacrifice there. You see it playing out in today's age, and today with men, right? We still carry that. But on the other side, you think about the woman had to send their sons to war, and they're probably going to die. That's their sacrifice. They had to suppress that emotion within them that they know, like their sons, their family, they're going off to be killed for the sacrifice of the tribe. And so I think, and then biologically, we're being conditioned that, okay, well, the women are going to see, like, that's heroic. That's masculine. That's success. Like, is it human? Well, I guess we can argue it is. It's how it's always been. But now we've got better research than ever. We know the codes. We've got psychology. We know how to change it. I think we're going through an evolution of sorts. I talk about this at the talk.
That was the thing I resonated the most with, is coming from an ambition-based world.
Ambition-driven world, yeah.
Yeah, from going from the ambition-driven world into a new age. That was the one thing when you sat and I kind of leant forward and was like, okay, like...
We're moving into a meaning-driven life. We don't have to go and make the ultimate sacrifice. We don't have to suppress our emotions for bravery and courage in the sense of being killed and sacrificing ourselves. We need, actually, it's the opposite now. We need the bravery and the courage to feel our emotions and allow them out again. And not in that wishy-washy kind of way where we're dumping it onto other people. It's more about going, so I can feel courageous enough to be me, to speak my truth, to create the version of me that I'm becoming. And ultimately, like, this is something I've been noticing, is the people that live with the most meaning and purpose are the ones that have gone on that journey to come back. Like, I would imagine what it is that you're doing now, you feel way more purpose, way more sense of meaning, way more fulfillment doing this. Not because it's the Bali dream content creation, but it's because you're coming back to who it is that is uniquely you. Like, your humor, like your vibe, your energy. You're literally getting to go and play games. You've always done playing games, but now you've turned your life into a game. And the reward for that is people come and go, wow, you're so inspirational. Thank you for giving me the courage to go and live my life as well. Like, thank you. You've changed my life. And then you get the sense of like, I do have a sense of meaning.
That's the biggest thing I've realized is, especially since I've started to get recognized at the moment, as in like online. I've been posting for 10 months now. Only recently has it started to actually grow, but I'm getting a lot more messages about people actually saying, I've never even thought about things this way. Like, I never realized anyone else dealt with this, or just the abundance of messages that I just didn't expect to get of people in the same situation as I was, feeling all these same ways. I was hoping to find these people to help them. That is literally like my primary thing right now, and that is part of the journey. Is like, I struggled for so long in my teens and early 20s with these problems, with all these different things. So if I can help, every time someone messages me, it's just like one step closer to this milestone of like helping what I have in mind is 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, I want to help 50,000 people who are going through the same shit that I had to, oh shit, he's right. And then
how do you quantify that?
I think again, this isn't. I've set it a target in my content as to hit 50,000 followers. I don't think that anywhere near quantifies between how many people I've actually helped, but I think it's a good figure in mind. But even if it was to get to 50,000, it wouldn't stop there. It would just keep going on to 100 to 200 because I want to help more and more people. But there's no sense of I need this amount of people. It's always a milestone. I've started to actually think about this quite lately. It's like the idea of a goal, like once you achieve the goal, obviously you set a new goal, but I like the idea of a milestone because it's just like you hit a new thing, but there's no destination with it. So even though I say 50,000, it's just helping people. But it's like, okay, well, the first milestone to get to the next world is...
It gives you something to work towards, right?
Yeah. It gives you, because otherwise it's like, I want to help people. It's like, okay, how, like, is that it?
Yeah. Well, also it's worth acknowledging that, you know, followers aren't necessarily people that you're helping.
No.
But what's greater than that?
That's why it's a little like, that's why I was hampering when saying it. It's like, if I get, it doesn't mean just because you've got a certain amount of followers, it doesn't hold any fucking weight.
Yeah.
Like, but the messages I get from people, the messages that people receive when they are helping others, that's when you know, like, okay, I've helped someone here.
Yeah,
I've had quite a couple of people message me about saying they started posting content because of me. Some guy messaged me the other day saying I started posting content because of you, and he got like 20,000 followers.
So
fucking
good,
flying.
So good.
And I just that sort of feeling like he's like.
Well, what you've enabled is way more than just him. Like, I don't think this is acknowledged enough. It's the ripple effect of you having stepped into your journey and doing what it is that you're doing. You helped him to start creating content. If he's got 20,000 followers, imagine the reach that he's got and the lives that he's changing.
He's killing it.
And so if you look at, like, it's almost like a pyramid scheme. If you imagine the pyramid, maybe you can create content on this.
We're going to go into an Inception style of pyramids. Oh.
But like that's the reality. The ripple effect is way greater. This is something that lights up my soul. One of the biggest things that gives me a sense of purpose is when I'm coaching another male, usually older than me. He's a father, and he wants a better connection with, say, his son or his daughter, or the people. Like, he's a father, role model figure in some way, and we go through. He's usually like emotionally suppressed or disconnected, successful but not in, like, you know, a relational sense. We go through and we coach him, and through him becoming that new connected version of himself, he has a better relationship with his partner or wife, but most specifically his son, or whatever son means in his thing, and then he becomes that demonstration for that boy that can then grow up into the world and create his own ripple effect. So becomes the father that he would have otherwise not had. He becomes that, so then he can pass down to his next generation a much better fatherhood. And as I see that happen, play out, that gives me, like, completes the loop of my own healing. And to have, like, I can see that boy has now had a father that I never had. And I'm like, oh, that
and that comes always down to, like, the deeper root of why you do everything.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can help people have the things that you don't have or didn't have or struggled with, then that is the purpose, that is the meaning.
That was it.
It's benefiting again, because I think a good rule of thumb of content is you want to speak to your younger self, because that is your target audience. I'm making content for me when I was 18, when I was 16 to 20.
So good. You would have loved it.
I would have fucking loved it. But I'm making content for the little Daniel, let's say.
Yeah.
For the 16 to 20-year-old Alex. I'm making content for him. And a lot of people are starting to resonate with it because I'm speaking so viscerally to myself now. And everyone struggles with it. It's so common, but no one speaks around it. but that's really the purpose behind it. Is if I can help people out of that period that I struggled with, that I had to find out myself over say 7-8 years, and I can help them find that out at 17. It's you can't quantify how much that like you say, that sense of loop of wow, I've potentially saved, not saved, but I could have helped him through 6 or 7 years of confusion, because I know I went
Probably
through
more. Like, I think this is what is triggering that transition that we're talking about, graduating from an ambition-driven world into a meaning-driven.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like the people that it's getting younger, but the people that I've been working with, I've been coaching 6 years now. When I first started out, I was coaching people in their 40s and their 50s. Pretty normal, much older than myself too, by the way, because they're hitting that midlife crisis, going, "Oh fuck, I got to do something with my life." But like, it blows me away now. I'll go to a remote sales retreat. They're learning and doing remote sales. They're doing, guys 21, 22, 23 doing 20K months, 30K months, not impressed by the money. And they're going, asking these deep questions like, what is this all about? And I'm coaching these guys. I'm like, holy shit, like money, we don't need ambition anymore.
Money's not literally, this is what I'm trying
and
to
so
drill
like
into.
At 20, already having these conversations. And so if you're helping someone at 17 or 18, the difference, you're talking not just 5, 6, 7 years. Like, and I've seen this happen already in just 5 years of coaching. Gone from 20, or gone from 50 down to 20, let's say, and having this conversation. That means you've got so many extra years of living life and building value and leaving a legacy and all of these things.
Imagine if you suddenly figure these things out, or these struggles, or having a better understanding or a perception of the world when you hit 50, 55. How are you then going to feel knowing that you could have known that for the first 55 years?
I see this all the time with my clients.
But then that feeling you give someone when they figure out 16, 17, I don't even know if the people would understand that what it's done for them, because they haven't been through that period.
You can't comprehend it.
You can't comprehend what that actually does.
Like my older clients, they go, "Oh, Daniel, like I see the grief. There is a real grieving process that goes through." I think grieving is normal. I've seen it as normal with any personal development. As you grow into someone new, there's a grieving process of losing the old version of you. It's, we're always looking at going, "Oh wow, I'd love to become that version," but we don't think about what we have to let go of. Whatever we're letting go is a grieving process. But like, I see the grief of like these 50-year-olds go, like, I wasted so many years. Why didn't I know this stuff earlier? I will wish, like, they're like, you're so lucky. I'm 37 now, but like I was getting this when I was like at 30, in my early 30s, going, wow, if I'd known this when I was at your age, even at 30, I would have had another 20 years. Oh, what would be possible for me? I'm having that same effect now with people like yourself, but like, these guys that are I was having a conversation with a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, and I'm like,
and they're making stupid money.
If I knew what it is that I know now, if I knew what it is that you know now at 20, holy shit, how different would my life be? But that's the reality. This new generation coming through, I'm like, blows my mind. You can't comprehend what that's going to mean.
And that's why I think a big problem I mentioned earlier with entrepreneurs at today's age, just focusing purely on money, is you can have the money, but if you figure this thing out early, the money doesn't fucking matter, because the money will come. But
money is easy. It's easier than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's easier now to make money ever. And I'm not saying that, because I'm not making that much money right now, but I know I'm not got any worries about it, because I know I'll make it, because I've seen how people around me, how easily they can make it. But the thing that's hard is in like living the life, enjoying the life, and feeling purposeful within your life. That is the hard thing. That's the thing. Originally, when you're growing up, and money is treated to be scarce. Money's something you save, whatever else. But now the environments I'm in, it's not scarce. It's abundant. It's everywhere. Everyone's got it. Everyone's doing whatever. The thing that's scarce is actually enjoying what you're doing, waking up every day and getting up after it, and having a burning desire to go and do each day, happy, purposeful, meaning whatever you want to call it. But just waking up and knowing that everything you're doing in that day is moving you forward, you're enjoying yourself, and you're not feeling like a failure.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing.
Peace is the real economy now. It's not money.
It's like, a big, yeah.
Everyone that I coach, that's what they're craving. A feeling of contentment and peace just from within.
Because a great thing is, like, you look at, I don't know how I should phrase this, but you look at people who are, not in the best financial situations, but they're like, for example, a lot of Indonesian locals here that are living in pretty poor living conditions, but they're some of the most incredible people that I've ever, like, never not smiling, never not happy, never what else.
So happy.
So happy. And when people say, "Oh, I feel so sorry for them," it's like, yeah, they living condition might not be, but they're way happier than the majority of people I meet. Like some of the best conversations. The reason why I love this place so much, if I go for a walk, everyone smiles, everyone drops for conversation, everyone's just cheery, looking like enjoying what they're doing. But if you look in places like the UK, it's tunnel vision. You don't know anyone on the street. You don't look around. You keep in your own lane. You stick to yourself. People are miserable. It's like, yeah, and you could be a millionaire, but it's still miserable. And again, obviously, I'm not saying I would want to have those living conditions, but the thing I chase the most, the thing that matters most to me is that sense of living, enjoying it, the greater story, the greater good. That's the important thing. Money does not fucking matter. It really doesn't matter.
The quality of our life that we're living today
is not depicted by the money.
Well, yeah, but like we've come so far as a society, is the way that we're living as a society is the kings and the queens, royalty of 100 years ago couldn't have even imagined the quality of the lifestyle of an average person. If whoever's listening to this means they've got internet and they're going to be living a better quality of life than what people could have even fathomed to be true just 100 years ago. Like 100 years ago, the majority of the world was in famine. And needed to work 70 hours a week just to put food on the table, just to put shelter over their heads. Now look at us. And so when you say, oh yeah, okay, I know that's not, it's easy to make money, but I'm not making all that money. I'm like, it's subjective. Look at the lifestyle that you lead.
Exactly.
It's not the biggest problem.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key thing as well. Why I'm saying it just doesn't matter, because it's subjective. Like what might be a lot of money for me is not a lot of money for someone else. What is a lot of money for someone else, it might not be a lot of money for me. It's all perception. How you perceive money is entirely up to people, and that's when it can confuse people and take them away from what is important.
It's a trap.
It's because they hold so much weight over money. They hold so much over it.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's a completely different. It's a completely different time now. There's never been a time where it's been more accessible for everything.
It's incredible. It's really exciting times. Just before we wrap up, I want to ask you one more question.
Yeah, let's go a little deeper.
Oh, what?
If you,
we'll go a little deeper,
okay,
afterwards, because otherw's we're going to open up a whole new can of worms.
Okay, because I want to get a little bit vulnerable. I want to find some shit out.
Okay, let's
do it. Yeah, go on.
We'll wrap up this.
Okay,
let's wrap this up. So before we wrap up, I want to ask one more question. Is this podcast, Reconnect You, it's in hopes to demonstrate how we can move from success through ambition, self-abandonment, self-neglect, into now having success with ambition, but coming from a more of a holistic place of self-love, self-care, taking care of who it is that we are. Do you have any further insights, comments from your own journey that can speak to that transition? Because I think you're a really great demonstration of that we haven't already covered.
Well, I think one thing with it as well is I'm literally still figuring out a lot of this stuff myself. I don't know if you've been able to tell on here, like a lot of the time I try and get my ideas across or what I'm thinking, I can't really put them into words exactly how I'm thinking or feeling, because I'm still figuring everything else out myself. All I know is that the things that a lot of people think are important or what they strive towards means fuck all. The things I'm trying to strive towards and what I focus on is something I've recently learned, which is myself, what's best for me, the greater good, all these concepts we spoke about. That's what my internal compass is and what leads me with to live a good life. And that's all I'm in. And I'm still figuring the rest out, or how to conceptualize it all, how to speak about it all, how I would even tell other people what to do with their lives, because my mind's all over the place when it comes to stuff. But from the brief things I can bring together and conversate with and make sense of, it is just focus on, if you were to take something from it, is what would make the best story.
But
what would make the best story?
The best story for the greater good.
For the greater good.
I love it, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
Loved having you.
Thank you very much. It was great. Thank you. Thank you very much.